last class we have studied about chemical classification of matter and water elements, what are pure substances and what are compounds, and what is about mixture, the types of mixture, homogeneous and heterogeneous. These are all the concepts we have studied in the last class. Today in this class we are going to continue that one. Let's see the difference between compound and mixture. The definition itself is one of the difference. Compound is a pure substance made up of two or more atoms of different elements combined chemically. Two or more atoms combined chemical union of two or more atoms of different elements which gives compound. But in case of mixture, two or more components are simply mixed. Two or more components are just simply mixed and they are not chemically combined. Right. That is the first difference. And second one, the constituent elements of compound are in fixed ratio by mass. Fixed ratio by mass means what? Suppose if I consider an example here, water, right? Water is a compound. The constituent elements of water is hydrogen and oxygen, right? The hydrogen's mass, atomic mass is 1. In water there are 2 hydrogens. For 2 hydrogen it will be 2. And atomic mass of oxygen is 16. 2 is to 16. The simplest ratio of these two elements are 1:8, right? The constituent elements, what we call hydrogen and oxygen of water, are fixed ratio by mass. If you take any water molecule, the hydrogen and oxygen will be in this ratio, 1:8. 1:8 is the fixed ratio by mass of oxygen and hydrogen in water. So this ratio is always fixed, right? That's why I said constituent elements of compound are in fixed ratio by mass. They will not change. Second, the mixture. In this mixture, the components are present in any ratio. And they may be varied. In case of mixture, the constituents or components are present in any ratio, any proportion, and they can also maybe vary. The third one, the compounds are always homogeneous. Homogeneous means, we have been discussed in the last class, the composition is uniform, right? But the mixture, it may be sometimes homogeneous and it also exists in the form of heterogeneous. Compounds are always homogeneous, mixtures may be homogeneous and also heterogeneous. And with large difference, compounds, the constituents of compounds loses its identity. Constituents of compound loses their identity. That means what? After the formation of compound, that compound do not shows the characteristics of its own components. For example, water, right? Water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. Before the formation of water, hydrogen is a gas and oxygen is a gas. These two gases are combined chemically to form water. After the formation of water, that water do not shows the property of hydrogen and oxygen. That's why I said constituents means hydrogen and oxygen loses their identity during in the formation of compound. But in case of mixture, the components or constituents do not lose their identity. Components do not lose their identity. For example, mixture of salt and sugar. In this heterogeneous mixture, the components are present as it is. They will not mix with each other. They will not react with each other. They are not combined chemically. So that's why salt is salt. In the case of sugar, sugar is present as it is. So that's why components do not lose their identity. In a heterogeneous mixture, it shows the characteristics of its components because they are not completely mixed with each other. They are not chemically combined. So that's why. So these are the differences between compound and mixture. Right. Yes. Let us move on to the next concept. That is properties of matter and their measurements. Here, each and every substance or each and every matter, it has its own unique characteristic property. So that's why those properties are classified into two types. First one is physical property. Physical property. The second one is chemical property. What is physical property? Yes, those properties which can be measurable and they can be observable without changing the identity or composition of a matter. What are physical properties? Those properties which can measurable and observable without changing the identity or composition of that substance or matter. This is the definition. Those properties which can be measurable or observable without changing the identity or composition of matter. For example, color, odor, melting point, boiling point, density. These are the physical properties. These properties you can measure these properties without changing the composition of the matter. That is about physical property. And the second one, chemical properties. Those properties which can be measurable with changing the identity and composition of matter. These properties requires a chemical change. This property definitely requires a chemical change to occur. Right? What are the examples? If you take any characteristic chemical reactions, all the characteristic chemical reactions of different substances are considered as chemical properties. For example, acidity, basicity, and combustibility. These are the chemical properties. If you want to measure these properties, if you want to observe these properties, the composition of that matter must be changed. Right? That is chemical property. I hope you understood. Physical properties or the properties which can be measurable or observable without changing the composition of the matter. These are the examples. Chemical property means if you want to observe the chemical property, the chemical change must be takes place. So chemical change is required to occur. These are the examples. Okay. Let's move on to the measurements. Of course, some of the properties of matter, they are quantitative in nature. For example, length, area, volume. These are the quantitative in nature. Those quantitative units or quantitative property is measured by using a unit. For example, the length of the room is considered as 10 meter, right? This is a quantitative analysis, quantitative unit. Here 10 represent the number. 10 represent the number and the m represent meter. That is a unit in which it is measured, right? For these type of quantitative units are represented by using a number and followed by the unit in which it is measured. Let's see the type of measurements. As to represent the quantitative units, we need international system of units. Simply we call it as SI units. These are the basic units, fundamental units. In the year 1960, the General Conference of Weights and Measures, General Conference of Weights and Measures, 1960 adopted the international system of units, and these are the basic units, fundamental units, means these are the units which cannot be derived from any other unit. These are the basics, and that's why these are called fundamental units. There are 7 basic or fundamental or SI units are there. Let's see those 7 types of SI units for what property. This is name of quantity, name of unit, and the symbol of the unit. Right? First one is mass. Of course, to represent the mass, we have to use the SI unit, that is kilogram. The symbol of this SI unit is kg, right? The second one, length. For length, the SI unit is meter, symbol is small m. The third one is time. For time, the SI unit is second, symbol is small s. And the fourth one is temperature. For temperature, the SI unit is Kelvin, symbol will be K. And the fifth one is electric current. For electric current, SI unit is ampere, symbol is A. Is luminous intensity, right? For luminous intensity, the name of the SI unit is candela, the symbol is C. And the last one is amount of substance. Amount of substance is the 7th basic quantity. The SI unit for this amount of substance is mole, MOLE, and the symbol of that mole is MOL. That is the 7th one. So these are the 7 basic quantities along with their SI unit, along with their symbol. These are the fundamental units and basic units which cannot be derived from any other units, right? Let's see some derived units. Right? What are derived units? These are the units which can be derived from these fundamental units by applying mathematical calculations called as derived units. Let's see that. Derived units. These are the units which can be derived from the basic unit or fundamental unit or any one of the SI unit by applying mathematical calculations, right? For example, for the first one is for area. What is the unit for area? Area is nothing but length into breadth, right? For length into breadth, for length is meter, for breadth is meter, so meter square. Meter square is the derived unit for area. The second one for volume. For volume is length into breadth into height. Formula. What will be the unit? M into M. The derived unit is meter cube. Right. The third one is density. For density, formula is mass by volume. Right. The unit for mass is kg. Unit for volume is meter cube. So that will be written like this: kg meter cube inverse. This is a derived unit for density. And the next one, velocity. Velocity means the distance traveled by time, right? Distance by time. For distance is nothing but meter. For time, second. Unit for time is second. So that will become meter per second. This is a unit for velocity. The next one, acceleration. Acceleration is nothing but velocity by time. Right? For velocity is meter, second inverse divided by time. Second, the final derived unit will be meter per second square. Is the derived unit for acceleration. The next one for force. For force, formula will be mass into acceleration, right? For mass, same is kg. For acceleration is meter square inverse. Kg meter per second square. This is a derived unit for force. This one for force is kg meter per second square inverse. And the very last one is pressure. For pressure, formula will be force by area. Right. For force, you have to take kg meter second square inverse divided by for area meter square. Right. So meter will get cancelled. The remaining will be kg meter inverse. Second square inverse is a unit for pressure. Suppose if you write instead of this kg meter per second square, you have to take Newton. For this kg meter per second square, you can consider Newton per meter square. This is also derived unit for pressure. Kg per meter per second square is also unit for pressure. These are the derived units. These are all the derived units derived from the basic units or fundamental units. As I hope you understood.